हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मेरी प्रीवियस वीडियो में मैंने आपको 19 अप्रैल की न्यूज़पेपर में से कुछ डिक्टेशन दी थी, मे बी अराउंड 94-95 वर्ड्स पर मिनट। अब मैं आपको उससे आगे जो है वो थोड़ा सा पोर्शन है, उसकी भी डिक्टेशन मैं आपको दे देता हूँ। इसके ख़त्म होने के बाद मैं आपको इनकी जो आउटलाइंस जो इम्पोर्टेंट होगी वो अलग से वीडियो होगी, आप देख लीजिएगा। तो प्लीज़ गेट रेडी फॉर ए डिक्टेशन। 5 seconds.
Start. But beyond that, the opposition's job is not to go along with each government measure or action. It has to, while being supportive, critique the government if it is falling short in a careful and calibrated manner by remaining constructive and not adversarial. This too has happened in three broad areas. One, despite experts consistently pointing to the need for greater testing as a way to identify the spread of the infection, the government was initially slow, although it has increased testing now. But the opposition has been right in pointing to this gap, and chief ministers have been right in identifying the lack of testing kits as a pressing need. This has pushed the government to do more. 2. The lack of personal protective equipment for health workers has been a gap in India's response. Here too, the opposition, along with civil society, has increased the pressure legitimately on the government to deliver. It has given voice to frontline warriors in this battle. India is still short of requirements, but PPEs today are recognized as an issue. Third, the opposition has played an important role in pointing to the economic misery caused by the lockdown. This is once again the collective responsibility of all governments, but given the role of the center, its wider jurisdiction, and the resources at its command, it is primarily the duty of New Delhi, not state capitals, to come up with measures. The government has announced a rupees 1.7 lakh crore relief package for the marginalized, but this is not enough to ensure the viability of businesses, keep up employment, restore supply chains, augment demand, and help sectors which are in acute crisis such as tourism, aviation, hospitality, micro, medium, and small enterprises, among others. The opposition has raised this issue consistently, though one could argue that it needs to do more effectively. The crisis is not just a test for the government, it is also a test for the opposition. So far, it has done well by remaining supportive, yet giving constructive feedback. It must remain vigilant while recognizing that this is not the time for political point scoring. The government would do well to reciprocate and not try to take political advantage of the situation either. That will show Indian democracy and federalism at its best. Stop.
ओके फ्रेंड्स, अब हम देखेंगे आउटलाइंस जो भी मेरे हिसाब से इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं वो मैं आपको ड्रॉ करके दिखाता हूँ। और जो हमने पिछली वीडियो में लिए थे वो अगर आएंगे तो मैं रिपीट नहीं करूँगा, आप प्लीज़ उसको भी देख लीजिएगा। तो लेट अस स्टार्ट। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, टू गो अलॉन्ग विद जब हम लिखते हैं, टू गो अलॉन्ग विद, हम चाहें तो इकट्ठा कर सकते हैं, टू गो अलॉन्ग विद। उसके बाद है सपोर्टिव, दिस इज सपोर्ट, वी नो सपोर्टिव होगा तो दिस इज सपोर्टिव। Then next is critic. उसके बाद है calibrated. Calibrated. Next is adversarial. Adversarial. Next is consistently. कान ऊपर लगेगा, consistently. Then next is chief ministers. चीफ मिनिस्टर्स के नीचे पहले टिक दीजिए, चीफ मिनिस्टर्स. लेजिटिमेटली, जे हाफ, लेजिटिमेट एम हाफ, लेजिटिमेटली. देन इज मिजरी, MS री, मिजरी. उसके बाद है वंस अगेन. This can be joined. Then comes collective. KLK double आएगा, collective. Jurisdiction. Then marginalized. MRJNLIST. Marginalized. Next is viability. फिर है employment. You can use this. पूरा लिखेंगे तो employment पूरा होगा. You can adopt this. Unemployment. This is unemployment. This is employed. This is unemployed. Employed, unemployed, unemployment, employment. ये तो this will be implement, sir. Yes, employment भी होगा, implement भी होगा. Employment ऊपर होगा. Next is hospitality. HSP T यहाँ लगा दीजिए, या चाहें तो hospitality T यहाँ लगा दीजिए. Next is tourism. Tour is this is tour, this is tourism. Then comes vigilant. Through the line, vigilant. हाफ हो जाएगा L, vigilant. उसके बाद है restrict. K हाफ, restrict.